Hello, visitors. Welcome to Hawthorne House. Good morning. Come in, have a seat. As you guys have probably noticed by the title of this video, this is not the Gemini video that I'm supposed to be filming for tomorrow. This is a video about a dream I had last night. And also, for those of you who are frequent visitors, recurring visitors, those of you who've already seen one of the first few videos I did, you'll notice that my setup is different because I just needed more space, and I also got a new incense burner. And you'll notice these jars back here, those hold the offerings that I've been placing for the Zodiac videos. When I'm done using them, right now the offerings are still in use, so they're just off to the side somewhere. Anyway, I have changed my setup, and I will be using this for the foreseeable future. Okay, so, y'all, this dream. I went to sleep at 2 last night, which is typical for me. I don't sleep at night these days. We have a theory. My friend Az and I have a theory as to why I don't sleep at night. Which maybe we'll discuss sometime because it's kind of funny, but I'd have to get her permission for that. But I didn't sleep last night except for I went to bed at 2, right? But I didn't sleep, clearly, because I'm like crazy this morning. Before I went to sleep, my friend V and I tried to trance. We do trance work. We used to do it a lot, at least once a month. But this last year, it'll be a year midsummer, all of that stopped after this big midsummer ritual we did. Everything kind of got shut off, and we were like, oh, what the heck? Now we can't access anything? Why are we not getting information like we were before, right? Very confused, but we needed rest, I guess, to build up for whatever's coming this year. So we tried to work last night. We got nothing. But it was the thought that counts, you know? By the time we really every time we try lately, something kind of interrupts us, and we sort of just come in at the tail end of it, either not in the right mindset or the right mood, or we can't seem to focus in, or we can't drift down, whatever it is. But, we still have been trying to get back into that rhythm of working. And so we tried last night. We didn't get anything. She was tired. She passed out. Around 2 o'clock, I was like, okay, me too. I'm tired. Because I didn't sleep the night before either, but I did take a nap that day during the day. And I was like, oh, maybe I should, help myself along to sleep. But I didn't. So I laid down at 2. And I was thinking about the trance that didn't work, and also about the video that I was going to make today, that I'm still hoping to make today, but it'll be after this. And I was sort of like slowly drifting off, and then all of a sudden I got pulled down real hard, real fast into this super deep sleep, but it wasn't sleep. I don't know, V and I have a term for it. We call it twilight sleep, where you're asleep, right? But you're also very much aware that you're laying in bed, and it's not quite lucid dreaming, and it's not quite sleep paralysis. It's just this in-between state of, it feels like trance, but it's like, you're aware that you're sleeping. You can sense yourself lying there asleep, but your mind is wide awake, super active. And it was in that state of like half sleep, that twilight sleep, where I get a lot of information that way, a lot of downloads. And last night in particular, I was lying there, and all of a sudden I came to awareness, right? I became aware of myself. And as I became aware of myself, I became aware of myself in this hallway. And here, I can illustrate. I can scribble it down here. I brought my notebook and everything. It's not going to be pretty. So, let's go. So, okay, so I'm in this hallway, right? Here's the hallway. Can you see that? Yeah, let's move it up. Here's the hallway, and there's another hallway here. And over here, on this other hallway, there's like a, this is a floor, right? This is the 5th level. That's what it was called in the dream. I was trying to get onto the 5th level. And even in the dream, my brain was aware that this was like, my brain was like, are we trying to get to the 5th dimension right now? Like, what's going on? What are we doing? Where are we going? What's this mission, right? It had a very, like, heavy air of mystery to it, too, right? So there's, like, this little partition, kind of, like a glass wall, you know? How, like, you need a card key to get through, right? This is exclusive. Only people who have 5th level clearance. 5th level clearance can get in here, right? And there's like, this is a security gate, right? And this is the like gate where you can walk through. And here's an elevator. And I'm right here. I'm standing here. I don't think I came off this elevator though. I think I was just beside the elevator because I was trying to figure out how to get here. I needed to go over here, and I think I came from over here where there are like there's like a stairwell, right? They're really bad stairs, sorry. But there's like a stairwell, and I think I came from here. Like the way that I came up was not from the elevator that you need the key card access to, but I came like the back route, right? The secret route. So I'm sneaking onto the 5th level, right? That's what it feels like, sneaking into the 5th dimension. And as I'm like trying to figure out how to get into here, a security guard comes out of this and is heading towards here, and they like see me, right? And I've got notes here because there's some quotes from this dream that I wrote down because I got up. I slept hard for an hour, just 1 hour. Woke up at 3 o'clock on the 3rd of April from this dream and was like, I need to write this down. I don't know what's going on, but it's going to be useful later. Maybe. I don't know. But it'll make for a great story, right? I love stories. Okay. So, trying to get to the 5th level. So the guard comes out, right? And they're like, you can clearly see on their face, they're like, what? Who is that? And they're like, what are you doing here? Or they said, what are you doing, maybe? Just what are you doing? And they started walking towards me, right? They started coming towards me where I'm like at this elevator, just standing here. And they're like, what's going on? Like, he specifically said as he was walking towards me, like, I was trying to get onto the 5th level, and it was clear that I wanted to go over there, right? And he was like, we don't need anyone else on the 5th level right now. Like, they didn't need newcomers on the 5th level, but you could tell that he, like, assumed that I was really low level, right? Like probably 3rd dimension, right? I'm a 3rd dimension being right now. Except in dream state, I guess. Here, I'm going to move this before it, like, crumbles and dies. I'm going to move it down here because the last one that I burned on here, I'm just getting used to it, you know. See, I still got ash everywhere. The last one fell down and scorched my table a little bit, and I was like, well, I'm not going to do that again. Okay, so the security guard is like, what are you doing here? We don't need more people. And it's clear that he thinks that I'm, like, not high clearance level enough to get onto the 5th level. He's right. I technically, in this dream, I don't have access to the 5th level. I'm not supposed to be there. I'm going there to look for something. Right? So I stand there, like, I'm like, oh no, what do I do? I'm standing there trying to figure out a plan, anything. Say something, brain, you know? Like, make an excuse. And as I'm trying to come up with something to say, the elevator door, like, opens. And I can't see it feels like I see a little girl, right? Like that right now, in this moment, that is the memory I'm getting. I didn't write that down in my notebook. I don't necessarily remember seeing a little girl. What I remember seeing is like a shadowy figure, and they threw, they threw a key card out of the elevator, and it skid across the floor over here as the like security guard is coming towards the gate, right? It slid right in front of the gate, this security card. As it's sliding across the floor, I happen to like see it, right? Like for some reason in dream state, you know how it is. Dreams are freaking weird. You can do anything. Well, you know, if you have that kind of control. But I looked at the card, and this number, the number 25, right? 25 flashed up on the surface of the card. It almost like projected itself off the card as it was sliding across the floor, but I'm the only one who saw it, right? The security guard is like, what the heck? And he picks up the card, right? Because it stops right in front of him. He picks up the card and he's like, what is this? What's going on? As he picks it up, I happen to like be able to see it again. And where the 25 is on the card, and I can't remember a lot of detail, but I can probably, you know, hear, okay, so we had the card, right? Right, okay. And then like the 25, it was something, there was like words here, and then what do you call that, a colon, and then like the 25, right? And then more words and like more designation stuff. I think there was a photo ID here, and there was almost, and there was like another symbol here, right? And it was this symbol. It was an upside down triangle. It looked like this, right? And it was filled in black. It was like a solid black. I'm not going to scribble all that because I don't want to waste my pen. Anyway, and there was another colon, right? And then another number here. When, at least I thought that's what I saw the first time that I saw it. And of course it's going to like be weird and shift around a little bit. Again, it's a dream. But when the security guard picked it up, he like looked at it and looked at me and was like, what the heck? And when he picked it up, I had been able to see the card, and it changed from 25 to the card with all the like scribbles and stuff on it, but the designation, and that came to me after the dream, the designation changed from 25 to 7. And I think it blipped 27 first, like that, and then changed to this triangle 7 symbol, which looks weird there and almost makes 2 triangles. That's not what I was trying to do. But it changed to, on the card, it was the black triangle and then a 7, right? And he looked at this card and looked at me and was like, what the heck? And I looked at him and I was like, without skipping a beat, when he said, what the, and I was like, what, my card? And I immediately, without skipping a beat, acted like it was my card. And the card had all my information on it. Like it was my card. But I didn't have a card in the dream up until that point. Like I was rogue, you know? So I go, you know, he asked, you know, what's going on? And I was like, what, about what, my card? And I was like, I just wanted to, you know, have a look around. And his attitude completely changed when he saw the card with the, like, 7 on it. He was, he became all, like, nice and polite and stuff, and was offering to show me around and introduce me to some people he knew, and, like, asked me what I wanted and where I was going, right, what I needed. He just, like, it was a complete 180, because 7 was it was like I was a higher designation, and, like, 2-7, right? 2-5. That was the image that I got after when I thought of designation. But because I was 7 and he was like the security for the 5th level, he was like, we don't usually get people from your level down here. And I was like, oh yeah, I just wanted to have a look around. I've never been here before. When he offered to show me around, I was like, wow, really? That'd be great. I've never been on the 5th level before. And I was like, it was a beautiful performance, you guys. I was acting to the max. It was great. I don't know why. I should clarify at this point, though, that even though I was acting and, like, it sounds like a con, right? I basically Nancy Drew'd my way into the 5th dimension. But in this dream, into the 5th level. But it wasn't, I didn't get that sense of I'm doing something bad. Like, it didn't feel like I didn't have the right to be there or I was doing something wrong. It was like I needed to be there. And so I was going to be, it was very, very weird. And so I wake up from this dream. The last thing I remember in this dream is we're walking, the security guard takes me back behind this door. And we get onto the 5th level. And I'm walking down this long corridor towards the record room, because that's what I was there for. I wanted to see the 5th level records or go to the 5th level library. It was like both things at the same time, but I couldn't place a name to them in the dream other than I need to see the records, right? So I'm walking down this long corridor and there's huge windows, like it's a windowed corridor. It's like being in a big office building, but bigger. And, or you know how like the airplane terminal, right, has the glass corridor with the windows, you can see out at the planes as you're like boarding the plane. It was like that. It was the big long corridor like that, and I could see out, and you could see that it was almost like office building style. But guys, it was like being on another planet. I had no idea. I've never seen anything like this before. It was like you could see the layers or the levels, the other levels. And it went well beyond 7, I think, or maybe there were several levels, several floors to a level, I feel like, because it was like straight skyscrapers the whole way around, and then like a path down the middle, a path down the middle that you could like walk on. It was green and gardeny, and it was really pretty. But the buildings were white, and it was like one continuous building that was just around a courtyard, but it just seemed to go on forever. Because I'm walking down this corridor and it's continuing along with me, like the courtyard, and where everyone of any level can mingle, right? I got that impression. Anyone can go down there and hang out and like do whatever's on that first level. Everyone had access to their level and below, it felt like. So that was the base level where everyone could commune on the same frequency almost, right? Which feels like instinct to me. That's what I got from that, was instinct. Everyone can commune on that same instinctual base level, right? So I'm walking down this corridor and we're going to the library or the record room. And I had noticed when I was standing in front of the elevator here that I was wearing either a very long green skirt or a very like a green dress that I could only see myself from my perspective, which is also not usually true in my dreams. Usually I'm from different perspectives and I'm all over the place, and I'm sometimes in different bodies and it's crazy and weird. But in this one, I was in my body in this dress that was this color, actually. I think this is green adventuring. It was the skirt was like this color, right? Here, I'll hold this up. Whoop! My bad, I dropped it. See, this little rock. Yeah. It was this color, and I know it kind of looks like a grayish. It doesn't look as green. It's very green though. It's a very green rock. But it was that color of like very deep, almost blue green, like the sea foam, choppy waters. I like. It was weird, and it was significant after the dream more than in it. But I couldn't help but notice that that's what I was wearing, and I had like a white shawl around my shoulders, and I was dressed in very like old-timey Victorian, or like, I don't know, it wasn't, it was out of place in this because this world, this place that we were at was very like modern, very advanced technology. You could just tell by the way the buildings were made and by the way life was sustained there that it was very advanced. But I was dressed like I was from, the 18th century. I was like, I don't know, the 1800s. Going to an actual like library. And so I made note of that while I was standing by the elevator. And then again, as we were walking down this corridor, excuse me, I woke up from the dream as I was walking down this corridor. So I don't know what was in the record room. I don't know what I went to go look for. I don't know. I think it might have been a person at some point. I thought it was a person because I had that song playing in my head. Only Love, I think. Which it was kind of a sad song, but sweet too. Maybe I'll link it down below. But I don't have rights to that song, so I'm not going to like hum it or anything. I'm going to try not to. If I do, it's unconscious. So I wake up and I puzzle out all of this, right? I get up and I go write it down. It takes me 40 minutes to write this down, and I'm awake by then, And I'm like, oh, I really need to try to sleep. But I'm laying down again, and the green dress, after I've written everything down, the green dress keeps coming back to me, and I'm like, look, brain, if you go to sleep, maybe you'll get more information. Please just go back to sleep. You need to sleep tonight. And I was like, oh, please, let me sleep. So all of a sudden, I'm focusing on that green dress, and I'm like, this like silly, outrageous thought comes to mind of, Miss Peacock in the library with the candlestick, like Clue, because this dream had this whole air of like spy, mystery, infiltration feeling, but like, not that I was doing something wrong though. And that's the disconnect is so weird, is because it didn't feel like I shouldn't be there. It just felt like I didn't go through the proper channels. It's like somebody threw that card at me and was like, here's your card. And I was like, what? What's going on? Is that mine? Did I forget it somewhere? Like, what happened? And I'm laying there and I'm trying to sleep. The thing about the peacock comes to mind, and this green dress seems really significant, or the old-timey feel of it seems really significant, and I'm trying desperately to drift back off to sleep. Like, just for another hour or two. I just want to sleep for another hour or two. I ended up just laying there for hours and like falling asleep for the last half hour before I had to get up this morning. But I'm just laying there trying to fall back asleep, and I'm thinking about all the things from this dream. And I was like, wow, that was really weird, because this dream was so straightforward. It felt so, yes, this is the fifth dimension. Here are we going. We're going to go look at the records. It didn't give me a lot of information, but the information was so specific that I was like, what are we doing here? What's happening? I don't understand. But also, I absolutely get what I'm doing. It was really, really weird. Like, I get there's no, this isn't just straight symbolism here. This is very specific. Like, this is what you're doing. It wasn't vague like a lot of my dreams are, where I have to puzzle them out, like, and figure out, what's the meaning behind this freaking fox symbol, Anyway, so I'm laying there trying to sleep, and the peacock comment comes to mind, and then also this memory, it's not a memory. Well, it's kind of a memory, but it's like also not. It was like two moments in time collided while I was laying there. And I was half asleep again. And I saw my living room, but all the furniture was pushed to like leave the living room open in the middle, and like the couch was pushed back against the wall, and my little like the coffee table was pushed out of the way, and it was like clean. It was like I just moved in. It was like I'm back at that moment where we're just moving into this house. And I had this incredibly weird sense of deja vu, and I was getting a lot of deja vu yesterday before I even started like dreaming, or maybe it was last night after the dream. There was a lot of deja vu that just kept coming up. I wish I could remember all of it specifically, but there was this moment where I saw like moving into this house or moving out. It was really strange. It was like an overlap in time where these two things were happening at the same time, but they were completely different momentums. And the room was bright and sunny and clean, and it was like very finite or finalizing but comforting. It was like a relief that everything was pushed out, everything was cleared out, everything was pushed out of the way. I had space to do something, and I don't know what I was trying to do, but that was the impression that I got, was that I finally had space to do. And after that, I had this memory pop up about when I was 10 and first starting to do tarot readings. Like, I was 10 years old. My adopted mom was Wiccan. My older adopted sister was like gonna follow that path. I tried that and it wasn't for me. I found my path in a very like different manner. But I had found these tarot cards, and it wasn't a full deck, and it was the old like Rider Waite, I think, deck, but it was written in Latin and it was only the major arcana. And I had printed off, I was 10 years old, and I printed off the meanings on like some printer paper with the cards so that I could see which meanings were which. And I remember taking it to this baseball game only like a week, 2 weeks after having started trying to learn how to read them. And I was sitting there doing goofy little readings for my friends and stuff. All these 10-year-olds asking profound questions, right? And two of my teachers came up. It was my math teacher and my music teacher. I don't know why. We were at a baseball field. Did I mention that? We were at a baseball field for this field trip for math. I don't know how they connected that, but it was something about innings and probability, probably. I don't know. Anyway, so there we are. Doing these silly readings, and the teachers come up, and you guys, I lived in a very, very small, like, my high school was 250 people, and I was with the same people for like 8 years, and everyone knew everything about everybody, right? It was very small town vibes, super religious, and very close knit. And I was like, oh damn, I'm about to get in trouble, you know? I thought that I was gonna get into some serious shit. Pardon my language. I'm gonna do that though. Cuss. So I hope y'all don't mind. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna get into trouble. You know, like I shouldn't have these cards here, I bet. It's like trading cards, right? But like worse because witchcraft. At least that's how they would have taken it. But instead, I ended up, the teachers were like, oh, what are you doing? And I kind of explained it to them, and I was like, I was trying to play it off so that I wouldn't, like, you know, get in trouble. I didn't want to get in trouble. And they were like, oh, we'll do one for us. So I did. The math teacher, I can't tell you what hers was about. I can't remember at all. But the music teacher, I don't remember if she asked a specific question. I don't remember if I was even asking them to ask questions or if I was just doing the readings like off the top of my head, right? But I pulled the cards for her. I don't remember what the cards were, but I remember specifically I told her that she had recently lost something that was really, really important to her. And like she was heartbroken about it. But that I told her that she didn't need to worry because it was coming back, or it came back, and and then she wouldn't lose it again. Like, it wouldn't happen again. It would stay with her this time, and she'd be okay, and she wouldn't have to feel like upset. And she stopped, and she looked at me and looked up at the math teacher and looked back at me, and apparently they had just been talking about this, like, over on the other side of where all of us kids were sitting. Like, the teachers were over by themselves talking. And they had come over and, like, see what was going on. Apparently, she had just been talking about it, and I wasn't anywhere near them because I was busy with the children giving the readings. She was like, my dog just ran away. Her dog had run away, and she was devastated. She loved this dog, right? And like 2 days before I gave her this reading, the dog had come back. Right? And I was like, the start of the imposter syndrome here. I was like, no way, that didn't just happen, I was like, that's impossible. I didn't just do that. But I had, because we all doubt ourselves sometimes. I just never got over that doubt. We're working on it now with this fun reading thing. I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. I have to break this video into 2 parts and then put them back together again. Because it's running a little long. Hopefully I can still get it out today, and I might take a break for the Gemini videos. Sorry, Geminis. But I'll get to you the next day, I promise. Anyway, so I was like, I can't believe that just happened. I was shocked. My 10-year-old self was like, is that real? What did I do? I was confused because this is my first introduction into divination and the craft. Like, my first time ever doing readings for people who weren't me just trying to figure out how to read the cards. And I don't know why. Like, I cannot tell you why. That memory came up, a memory that I hadn't thought about, and a childhood I hadn't thought about in a really long time. Like, that memory in specifically. And but I felt like it was related, the dream too, I felt like it was related to these portal questions that I've been asking. So I woke up after this memory haze kind of dream about the living room thing, knowing that I wasn't going to get back to sleep. So instead I just laid there and was thinking about what does it mean? We always ask, what does it mean? What does this mean? I'm notorious for asking what it means and never really figuring out the whole picture of anything because that's not my path. I'm not supposed to know for me what's going on. I can see for everybody else sometimes. Not everybody, but if I'm doing very specific solo one-on-one readings, usually they're pretty on point. But but I can't figure out the things for myself. I'm not supposed to know. At least not in the way that, it's concrete and you can have a detailed plan of, oh yeah, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Mine's just sort of, wing it and find out. And I'm like, okay, well, let's be impulsive then. Hence today's video where it's all over the place. Yay. So, I was trying to figure out what it all means. What's the message here, And I came to this almost this realization, right? I had been thinking about it the night before, that in addition to these portal videos that I'm doing at the beginning of this month, I'll probably take a short break, but I want to do a full moon video for you guys. And I had been kicking around ideas of what to do for the full moon because it felt like it was going to be related to this portal thing. And what I came up with is that I have a question that I need to ask for the full moon, for all of you, for all of us, related to the portal readings that I'm doing, about what's the key that's opening your portal, or what, like, what is your key? What's the key being given to you? What's the key that unlocks the door? There's something about a key, and I haven't quite figured it out yet. I'm still working on it, but that's gonna be the full moon video, and it's as a result from this dream, because that sort of like solidified it in my mind. Oh, okay, yes, I need to figure out. I need the access key. I need the card key to get into the door. Like, that's what we're looking for. Is we're looking for the card key, but like this one's more of like, a key. Yeah, and I came to the realization. I was like, okay, that makes sense. And I was like, okay, so what do I do about it now? And I was like, you know what? This is when, at the point that I was like, I'm not going to sleep. I might as well think about what I'm going to do today. And instead of thinking about the Gemini thing, I ended up thinking, you know what? I'm going to turn this into a video. I'm going to turn this dream into a story that I'm going to tell you guys. And I know it's a little bit all over the place, so forgive me for that. I love telling stories, though, so maybe I'll tell actual stories later, other than just readings. Because I don't want this channel to just be, question readings. I want it to be a journey with all of us. I want us to all, like, take this journey together. Everyone who stops by visits Hawthorne House. Hawthorne House is kind of a state of mind. It's a place of spirit being. And I'll explain more about that later, too. And we'll talk about it more. Anyway, yeah, I really wanted to share this dream with you guys, and my conclusion about the full moon that I want to do, and also that I think the start of this YouTube journey, this YouTube tarot reading, general reading journey, is really going to impact the way that I do my craft, and that how we're starting here is not going to be necessarily where we end up. I mean, it's definitely not going to be where we end up in a year. Everything changes so rapidly sometimes. So I'm expecting big changes, but like good changes for all of us. Which I know given this year so far, it's been kind of hard, but I want to focus on the positive, which I am not used to doing. So that's what I'm trying to do, is be consistent, focus on the positive, and also share that with you guys and any information I get, because I get this impression that this year it's gearing up to be really wild. Like, it started crazy, right? But I feel like there's this shift coming and a lot of my card readings for myself lately and for my friends have been that from now until August, September, October, to November, that area, now until the dark season, there's this big, it's like a winding clock, is either ticking down or getting ready to start, right? It's about to be fixed, maybe. I don't know. I'm getting that impression of something, the gears are beginning to turn. Something is cycling about. A new cycle is coming about. I don't know. But I want to share that with you guys, and because I know that it's not easy sometimes when you feel like you're left in the dark with things. And these readings that people do on YouTube and on the internet, I just feel like, yeah, they're general, and no, they're not going to be for everybody or relate to everybody, but I know because I've seen card readings and I've done them myself. I've done a reading and then gone and not published it or anything, but like done a reading for myself or thought about publishing a reading and then gone and watched a reading and the exact same information comes up, you guys. Like the exact same. It's so close that it's scary. So I can tell that we're all kind of writing the same, or we're all trying to reach this same wavelength right now. We're all tapping into this big something. And I'm hoping just over the course of our journey together and your visits here that we come closer to better questions. And, you know, because answers are one thing, but I feel like I focus so much before on I'm trying to find the answer, and I don't think I'm doing that anymore. I think now I just want to see where the journey takes us. Yeah. Okay, so I know that was really long, and it's not a Gemini reading. I'm going to try to do the Gemini reading today, though, so that I can still have it up tomorrow, and I really want to publish this one today. But it's longer than my normal ones, so we'll see. I'm sure I'll be able to get it up today, though. I'll post it tonight, maybe. Whew. Anyway, I want to thank y'all for coming, and one more time, I think I've already said that, and listening to me ramble about this crazy dream if you did. And I hope that you are enjoying these zodiac readings, or that they're a little bit helpful for you. I'll keep doing my best to keep you up to date, and if you have dream interpreters, if any dream interpreters are out there listening right now, tell me your thoughts on this weird freaking dream. And the peacock thing is like, it was very significant. Miss Peacock in the library with a candlestick. I don't know why. Maybe it's just silly, but it felt like it was very poignant a moment in my night last night. Okay, that's all for now, you guys. I will see you soon. Tomorrow again, I'm going to try to post daily, So, I hope to see you then, and I hope you have a fantastic Sunday. Get some brunch or a really nice dinner. Have a coffee. Gear up for the work week if you're going to go do the work thing. If not, still spend this Sunday relaxing and enjoying some time for you. And I will see you later. Okay, bye-bye.